Hi, and welcome to another episode. This episode's going to be pretty short because I'm just going to go over one thing, and that's pine trees. So pine trees are one of the easiest trees to paint using this technique. It doesn't look like it at first, but it really is. Once you get used to the technique, you're going to be surprised how easy this is. So why don't you come on in here and I'll show you exactly what we're doing here. I'm not going to do a whole painting, but I'm just going to show you how to do these pine trees. So what I have here is a mixture of sap green and black. I used about equal parts. That way the black isn't all black and the green isn't all green. It's a very, very dark green, even though it looks black. There is green in here. So we're going to take our fan brush and load up with color, just like that. We get enough on there. Now we're going to go to the canvas and we're going to hold our fan brush vertically, not horizontally, but vertically. And we're just going to give it a quick little push. And you're going to see that little line. That's going to be the top of our tree. When we go back in here, we're going to start with the very corner of our brush. And we're just going to add in little branches at the top. Just like that. So it looks like a little itty bitty tiny pine tree, but we're going to add to it to make it a bigger pine tree. So as we're going down, you're going to see I'm going to be turning my brush as I go down the tree. All right, so we're going to have branches coming out on either side, and I'm just going side to side, always touching the middle, but very little increments. Okay, now I'm using the full brush to go all the way to the bottom here, and there we have a beautiful little pine tree. Let's do that again. I'll show you again. So we're going to push up like that. And then we're going to go boom, boom, boom. We got some up there. And don't try to be perfectionist about it. Trees are not perfect. That's what makes them beautiful. Nothing in nature is perfectly symmetrical. That's a man-made concept. So with the trees, we're just going to keep going side to side. Right now I'm using about 1/4 of the brush. And now I'm slowly turning it, and we're using all the bristles on that brush. Now, one of the common mistakes made using this technique is you're going out too fast. You want to make it a gradual slope. Otherwise, it will not look right. So I see a lot of times some people going like this. They're going to have these big trees, big fat trees like that, okay? We don't want those kind of big trees. We want to make sure that we're going a very gradual slope. As you're going down the tree, you're only going out little by little. Just like that. Now to get those nice little upturned branches, how I'm doing that is I'm going to have the camera come in really close and I'll show you. I'm pushing down like this, and you see now it's like a smile. It's like an upward turn there, and then I'm going to go like that. Okay, now if you go this way, when you push in, you have a downward branch. Both of them are fine depending on what tree you're going for, but to get these really cool looking little pine trees, I always use the upward branch, which means that I'm pushing so that the bristles are going downward like that. Okay, so once we have our dark color on here, we're going to clean our brush off, get all that dark paint off of there. Now the rule of thumb when you're doing this technique is that thin paint sticks to thick paint. If you have thick paint going onto thick paint, it acts more like a Velcro and it gets all gooey and it sticks together and it just makes a big mess. So what we need to do is we need to thin up the paint that we're going to use for highlights. And by doing that, I'm going to use some liquid white. Very little. You don't need a lot. You don't need a lot to thin this up. This is a mixture of sap green and some deep yellow. Now the white that I put on here, the liquid white, is going to naturally lighten up that green. All right, and we want to make sure that we have that nice green on there. And what we're going to do is the same kind of concept. We're just going to touch the top, and we're going to go down the tree, and we're just going to hit little highlights. So you can have some nice green in your pine tree. We'll clean this brush off. You can add a little white to that green when you're mixing it. And then a little more yellow. And that gives you a whole nother kind of yellowy green that you can use. Clean that guy off. We'll get a little more liquid white on here. We got that in there. And then this is just a little brighter green. Depending on what season you're painting or your light source or whatever you want to do, you pretty much use any color you want that looks good on a pine tree. Now when you're doing a winter scene, you want to have that snow on the pine trees, and that's a real pretty scene. So we are going to go into our liquid white to thin it up, and we're just going to go right into some pure white. Just like that. Now if you come up here, you'll see that I'm pushing up, and we're just going to give it some snow, just like that. Now you see that? That's real pretty. Now all these colors are sitting right on top of that really thick paint because I thinned it up. So if I were just using straight paint onto straight paint, it would have just stuck and it would have mixed together right there, and it would have just been a big mess. So go ahead and practice your pine trees. Have fun with them. Don't let it freak you out. It really is that easy. It's a simple boom, 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 down. You're done. Okay? So join me again for some more lessons soon. I'll have more uploaded soon. If you live in the area, come on in and paint with me. I have fun with our painting classes, and I hope that you'll join me soon.